Hi, and welcome to our last round of Getting to Know You Staff Edition. Today, I'm joined by our Development Director, David Roberts. Thanks so much for being here today, David.
Thank you for having me. It's actually surprising that you caught me on the very last round. I've been putting this off for months.
Well, I'm glad to have finally pinned you down. So, David, as we get started, tell me how you got involved in the pediatric dermatology space.
Sure. I have about 20 years of experience working in nonprofit development and management, working for a host of full spectrum of causes, from wildlife and parks to education, the arts, native culture. And a few years ago, I started writing CME grants for the National Psoriasis Foundation, where I met Mike Siegel. And I must have made a lasting impression on Mike, because about a year and a half after I left, he was calling me, asking me if I might still be interested in working in the medical field, and if I might be interested in working with him at PeDRA.
That's so great. It's great that you've had this really diverse background in nonprofits, and that you were able to make that kind of connection with Mike, that he would want to bring you on. And I'm so happy he did. You've been doing so much great work for PeDRA since he brought you on.
Thank
you. Tell everybody a little bit about your role and the kind of work you've been doing for us.
I'm the development director, and that means I predominantly I work to secure funding for from a variety of sources for ongoing operations and programming, such as our research fellowship program or our educational programming that we're entering into. Jen, you're a part of that. And that includes everything from corporate relations, the corporate council, and also our wonderful donors, and working with the membership. So that's my job in a nutshell.
Well, and congratulations for just having come off a very successful individual giving campaign. Your efforts and the strength of our network, we were able to get a matching gift from our board to cover an additional research grant. So that's very exciting.
That's it, isn't it? That's, development is more than one person. It takes a village to make that happen. And you got to hand it to our membership. They saw the cause, they understood it, and they came through for us in a big way.
I completely agree. We have really fantastic members. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's your favorite thing or your favorite reason why you like working for PeDRA?
Sure. I've always prided myself on working for an important and impactful causes. As someone who is motivated by other people's passions, I have to say that our membership is made up of the most passionate and highly engaged professionals that I have ever worked with. It's a real honor to move the needle forward on pediatric dermatology research with such an invested community of scientists.
I wholeheartedly agree. It was so exciting that we were able to have you come to the annual conference in 2019 in Chicago, even though you were contracted at so few hours and weren't yet a formal employee. But I just was really excited that you got to experience the energy and the excitement and the ability for our network to really get work done. So I think that was really incredible that you were there for that. And I always find our meetings inspiring.
Absolutely.
And to have you stay on and have your hours grow and have you become a staff member after that experience, I think is pretty special.
Absolutely. That conference, the 2019 one in Chicago, was my first PeDRA conference. And I'd been to many medical conferences before that. At the time you're right, contracted at 5 hours a week. So by the time I got to Chicago, I'd already used up my right? But it was an eye opener for me. People were engaged, people were talking, people were moving about, and the poster forum was popping. It was just such a great experience. And something I took away from that was just how engaged our membership is.
Okay, so we are coming to the end of the interview, David. So if you're willing, please share something about yourself that others may not know, a hidden talent, a special interest. What are you willing to share today?
Well, you've already shared our running career.
Hardly a career.
60, 70 miles a week that we do. So much of our work gets done on the track.
We do a fair amount of really good thinking when we're out
We
on.
really do. We do a lot of thinking. Well, this is a question that I was belaboring myself with. I was like, oh man, I hate talking about myself. But outside of PeDRA, I am a pseudo-successful painter.
He's being modest. He's a very successful painter and he's very talented.
That's nice of you to say. And you also wanted me to mention my tiki bar that I built this summer. It's a pandemic project that I had in the backyard. I wanted to build something out of pallets, and I'll never do it again, but it's done. So come on by. I'll make you a drink.
I think you were the most productive of all of us having built a tiki bar this summer.
The time on my hands.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, David. It has been wonderful getting to know you.
Thank you, Jen. It's been wonderful to be with PeDRA, and I look forward to a brilliant year in 2021.